In this video, we will solve this problem. And let us look at the ideas behind this moving trihedral. You are riding the world's fastest roller coaster. Here we suppose that the path your roller coaster takes is this curve, and P is your current position. You aren't just moving in a straight line, you're actually twisting, climbing, and turning through the 3D space. In physics, we use the moving trihedral to decompose forces acting on your specific position. And here's how to translate this one to your physical experience. First, we have the tangent vector. This is your velocity. It is where your nose is pointing. And if your roller coaster speeds up, you feel it along this line. And then we also have the normal vector. This is the centripetal force at which requires you to stay on the curve. This vector points towards the center of your arc. And finally, we have the binormal vector. This represents the torsion or twisting of your current position. And this is of direction the same as the cross product of the tangent vector and your normal vector. Now, these three vectors create a local coordinate system that travels with you. And if this vectors is of magnitude equal to 1, then we have the unit tangent vector, the unit normal vector, and the unit binormal vector, also known as the moving trihedral. Unit tangent vector here is described as the derivative of your curve divided by its magnitude. Now, for the normal vector, you simply take the derivative of your unit tangent vector and then divide by its magnitude. Then finally, we have the unit binormal vector, which is the cross product of the unit tangent vector and the unit normal vector. Let us now consider the following example. In this particular example, you are asked to find a specific moving trihedral at a certain parameter, which is t equals pi. Let us first write our curve, which is described by this vector valued function r and given by cosine t, sine t, and your t. To find the unit tangent vector, which is given by this vector, we need to find first the r prime of t. So that is the derivative of this vector. So to do that, let's derive this one. So the derivative of cosine is negative sine t. And for sine t, we have cosine of t. And then the derivative of this one is equal to 1. Then we take the magnitude. So for the magnitude, we simply take the square root of each of these inputs. So what we mean is this one. If you simplify this one, this is simply equal to sine squared plus cosine squared t, which is by some property we have this one equal to 1. So we have the square root of 1 plus 1, which is equal to the square root of 2. Now for the formula of the tangent vector, unit tangent vector, we have this one, r prime of t divided by the magnitude of r prime of t. And by these calculations, we simply divide this both. And this gives us the value 1 over square root of 2 times this vector, negative sine t, cosine t, and 1. So that's how you find your unit tangent vector. Now let us find the unit normal vector. Then there are two recipes in order to find this one. That is the t prime and its magnitude. Now let us first write the unit tangent vector we obtained earlier. So we have this one. Let's derive this to obtain t prime. So that is, if you derive this one, you simply factor this one out and then try to derive this vector and then put this one back. So what we mean is when you derive this one, you will obtain negative cosine t, and then this one is you have negative sine t, and then the derivative of this last part is equal to 0. So what we mean is this one. For t prime, we have 1/2, and then the vector we have written. Okay, for the magnitude, notice that there is a constant times a vector here. So that when you take the magnitude of this one later, it's like you are taking the magnitude of this right side. So notice that there's a constant here. We can call this one A. And this one is a vector which we call V. And there's a property that when you try to take the magnitude of this one, you can simply take the scalar out times the magnitude of v. We will use this one to simplify our process. So what we mean is this one for the magnitude. We have this one, the scalar that we mentioned, and then we simply take the magnitude of this one. So that is negative of cosine squared plus negative of sine t squared. We simplify this one first. That's why we obtain 1 over square root of 2. Now, for the unit normal vector, this is equal to t prime all over the magnitude of t prime. So this one is equal to this one for the numerator, since we have t prime here. And then for the denominator, we substitute 1 over square root of 2. Notice that these two terms can cancel. So this one is cancelled, and then this is simplified to this vector. So this one is your unit normal vector. For the unit binormal vector, we need the unit tangent vector, and we also need the unit normal vector. And these vectors, based on our previous solution, we obtain the unit tangent vector as this one. And we also have the unit normal vector to be this one. So we have negative cosine and negative sine t here with 0 as the third component. In order to simplify the process, since there is a scalar here, we use the property this one. So this is actually equal to a times, we evaluate the cross product of a and b first, so that the resulting vector here, we simply put this a back. Okay, so what we mean is, in doing the cross product, we simply factor out this one, and then we apply the cross product of this one, and we apply this formula. Now let us calculate this cross product. So we first put this one. So this is obtained by removing this one. So that's why we are left with cosine 1, negative sine, and 0. So with I. And for the second part, we could take the negative of this one. So this one is obtained by removing the rows and columns in line with J. And you simply put negative, as this one is located in the second column. So what's left is negative sine t, negative cosine 1, and 0. So continuing in this manner, you have sine, negative sine t, cosine t, negative cosine, and sine t. So we have this one. So applying this formulation, we have these values. So for the first one, you have the multiplication of this one minus the multiplication of this one. So since this one is negative, this one results to 0 plus sine t. Again, for the second one, this is 0, and then subtract negative cosine. That's why you have positive cosine. For this one, we have sine squared minus the negative of cosine squared. That's why you have plus cosine squared t. So apply some simplification, you will obtain sine ti minus cosine tj plus k. So what we have here is this vector. So now it remains to put back the 1 over square root of 2 that we have mentioned earlier. Hence, this is how you can obtain your unit binormal vector. Therefore, we have the following summary of our results. For the unit tangent vector, we have this one. For the unit normal vector, we have this one. And we have for the unit binormal vector. Okay, so since the original problem asked us to find this moving trihedral in a specific point, which is t equals pi, then it remains to substitute this t in each of these vectors. So for the first one, we have unit tangent vector evaluated at pi. So this results to 0, negative 1 over square root of 2, and then you have 1 over square root of 2. Since this one at pi gives you 0, and this one at pi gives you negative 1. So that's why 1/2 times this one, you have negative 1 over square root of 2. And for this one, you have 1 over square root of 2. For unit normal vector, you have 1, 0, and 0. Since this one is evaluated by 1, And this one is 0 since the sine of pi is equal to 0. And then finally, we have the binormal vector 0, 1 over square root of 2, and 1 over square root of 2. This one gives you 0, this one gives you negative 1, but this one is negative, so that's why this totals positive 1. And this one is also 1, that's why you have the same value 1 over square root of 2 for the second and third component. So this is how you obtain the moving trihedral at t equals pi. It is worth to mention that there is a vector which describes both the direction and magnitude of the bending of your curve. So we have the curvature vector with notation this one, and it is given by the following formula. And if we take this magnitude, we have the curvature. So we have this one as your curvature with notation equal to kt. Now to apply this one in our problem, note that our previous calculation gives us r prime of t, the magnitude is equal to square root of 2. And for t prime of pi, we have this one. We simply substitute these values from our previous calculation. And that's why you have the vector 1 over square root of 2, 0, 0. Hence, your curvature vector is given by this one. So at t equals pi, you simply divide these two values, and this gives us this vector divided by square root of 2. So you have 1 over square root of 2 for the magnitude of r prime of t, or pi, times the vector. Hence, this is simplified to this vector 1 half 0, 0. So if you take its magnitude, this gives us the curvature value, which is k of pi equal to 1 half. And that's how you obtain this curvature vector and its curvature. If you want to learn more about calculus, see you in our next video.